Gregory, just getting to you about the track. I know it's come up a 4, but has it got a bit rutty, Greg? Because there's been so much racing, and obviously at Riccarton they tend to get down to the inside and try and follow the rail. Is it getting a bit choppy on the inside?
Very good morning to you, Michael. Welcome into Riccarton Park. Not really. I've actually never seen this track in better order. The track staff are doing an amazing job, and you're right, there's been a lot of traffic on it in recent times, but from a punting point of view, that's been outstanding because the form stacks up. You race there every fortnight, pretty much the same horses going around, and the track's playing beautifully. I'm almost certain it'll be upgraded today. Look, it's an awesome order, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if it does go to a good 3. And I was actually just listening to John Otham on the radio talking about the penetrometer and the systems that we use, and I really don't know why we don't go back to the old where it was heavy, soft, easy or firm. I think where the problem lies is when we play around with the numbers because it's so variable, and of course the way they do the penetrometer, 1.5 metres out from the inside, 3 or 4 drops, means that it's not consistent. So maybe that discussion will be talked amongst the Racing Managers Conference. I think it's in about May, so that's my thoughts on it anyway, but I expect it to be upgraded today.
Okay, that's good news, Greg, and as I said, the track has played very well there over a very busy last 2 months or so. The first on the card is for the rating 72 horses over the 2,000 metres, and yesterday the market opened each of 2, Smokehouse Bay and Takira. That's pretty much locked together there at 3.4 and 3.6. Lady Bearley, Let's Bring It On, and Head Office have a modicum of support. Apparently, let's get it from official from Stephen Hunt. Hunty, where's the money going on the first, mate?
Pretty keen on the favourite here, Mick, in Smokehouse Bay. $3.80 when betting commenced yesterday. Now short as $3.40 and accounts around about 40% of total turnover. The favourite to kick off the first at Riccarton. Tikera, $3.80, also under $3.60. Lady Bearley, 6 out of turn to 6.5. Head Office, well supported, $9.50 into $8. The cold runner is number 4, Let's Bring It On. As short as $6 yesterday, now trading $8.50. And a couple they're willing to speak. Look, their punters are finding a case for number 6, and Shanzino opened at 23, now trading at 15, and a little bit of speaking also for Producer. But overall, to kick off the stayers race for the rating 72 gallopers, Smokehouse Bay 380 into 340, best lead.
Okay, hard to predict how they're going to land after the start of a 2,000 metre race for rating 72. Someone might roll the dice and press forward early. Here's what we think could potentially happen, and we're thinking it's a relatively neutral race at this stage and therefore a slow tempo. Grego, I thought this was interesting because what we haven't seen a lot of with the Riccarton races recently is a great depth of riders. They've had to share the riders around either midweekers or the fact they've had to share with major meetings in the north. But today you have the locals like Chris Johnson and Corey Campbell and all those good riders, including, and the Pope's down there. You've got Jacob Lowry, another good local rider. Jonathan Parks is there. So, Greg, I think that really plays into the day. You're more likely to see shall we say, more consistent, cleaner riding when you have those really senior riders getting down there as well.
Yeah, have to agree, and of course the competition out on the track will mean finding the right spot in the run is imperative. Not that it's not normally, but when you have a high quality rider here, or group of riders, it's more important. Let's have a look at probably the key lead-up race to this. Yes, Takeawera has been in wonderful form, but there's a few to come out of this. She's a mare by Redwood that's now won 3. She was very strong winning this race at Wingatui, but like I say, there's a few to come out of it. Smokehouse Bay is one of those. She'll be improved. Chris Johnson's got a bit of a wide draw here, but she can basically race in several places. It doesn't really matter. She does have options, but she looked to win a Smokehouse Bay, but Takeawera just got over the top and was a little bit strong in the end. So good form line race for this. Those two dominate the market, and there wasn't a lot between them on that occasion, and there's probably not going to be too much between them today. Smokehouse Bay does go up 2.5 kilos. Takeawera, of course, claiming the 2 with Corey Campbell. He should be in for a good day. But Michael, Chris Johnson is a dominant favourite in the Jockeys Challenge. And as we go through many of these preview races now, you're going to find out why he's got a superb book of rides.
Sure has. $1.15 for CJ in the Jockeys Challenge. Second on the card, though, leans the way of Jonathan Parks, according to the market here, because the northern filly has come down south. Our Hail Mary, she sits just off the speed and she hits the line awfully hard, the daughter of Ocean Park, who's now had his 80th individual winner, so well done to Waikato Stub with him. Hunty, I presume there's been money for a horse like her, but $1.90, I suppose it's close enough to the mark in a big field, and therefore there's lots of other percentage that has to be factored in.
Very solid. Got as short as $1.85, Hayamiri. Look, Jonathan Parks gave up some key rides at Tauranga today to ride this 3-year-old filly down at Riccarton. Like I mentioned, got as short as $1.85. Accounts for around about 60% of total turnover. So look, I'm pretty confident it will start in the red. Michael, our Hail Mary. They are speaking a couple horses, whether you want to take them around exotic bet types, one of them being Fire Show, 10 into 850, and Severine, as high as 16s during the week, now trading at 14 for the On Fire, Go Racing, and Robbie Hannah. Ran 4th last start at Group 3 company in behind the Guineas winner in Emily Margaret. So that's pretty good form reference for a race like this. But overall, our Hail Mary, one of 5 odds-on faves up and down the country, and will be a multi-special for a lot of punters investing today.
Speed map here will see her back of midfield, I would suggest, and that can be tricky over 1400 metres at Riccarton. They sort of jump out of the gates, they roll to the bend, and then it's hard to make ground on that bend. So yeah, Jonathan's going to need to time his run to a nicety, but she has hit the line awfully hard in the last couple of races. Kaimar War out there drawn wide, expected to be neutral and trying to at least press forward, but there's a bit of speed here. This is going to be very interesting. Greg, one of the races of the day, look, I wouldn't be stunned if our Hail Mary just come out and bloused them and won by 2.5, or on the flip side, Greg, there's quite a bit of traffic between her and the winning post. By the time she's at the top of the straight, it could be quite awkward. So I think the J Parks factor here is going to be really crucial.
Yeah, Riccarton Park as well. I'm sure she's going to love the wide open spaces, and just total respect. If Alan Sharrock travels here, he invariably gets the money, and she's shown durability, race tractability so far. I think the 1400 will be right up her alley, as we will see with this video. You're right, she really finds the line strongly. She got cluttered up a little bit on the inside, got off there and got to this position of the track, and Floral Belt loomed up like it was going to go straight past her, but this daughter of Ocean Park fought very solidly, and if she reproduces this performance, Michael, she'll go very close to taking out race number 2 and remaining unbeaten, and some decent spoils ahead for her. Of course, potentially a war step. Haven't talked to Alan about that, but that is a possibility. I'm not surprised the money's come for Severin, a winner here during the Cup meeting. The Emily Margaret form out of Wellington is really strong now, isn't it? So I thought that she was a terrific place chance at least. Highly Unlikely's racing really well, and it's been racing in behind Earmax, one of your favourites, Michael, from this very show. So, yep, there's a few reasons to like those maybe for a place, but I think all the money's going to be around our Hail Mary in the second.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if she got in tighter than the 190 and was the lead in quite a few multi-bets. One of the 3 features coming out of Riccarton today is the Seaton Family Memorial Hororata Cup. It's over the 1800 metres, so it brings together milers and 2,000 metre horses, or in the case of Oropuki Lad, a last start 2,600 metre winner. Stephen, as we come back to you, everybody knows Boots and All, and we know we love him, and he gets the weight relief today, but it's still quite a bit of weight to carry. Are punters put off by that weight factor?
Not at all, Mick. I think that 2 kg claim could be the key. Just gets it under that 60 kilogram weight allowance. Now has to carry the 59 with the allocated 61. Clearly the highest rating in the race of 99 for Boots and All. $3.80 when betting commenced Wednesday for this particular race over the 1800 metres. Now short as $3.50. I wouldn't say it's a strong lead in terms of single bet hold, but as a market move in a very even contest, that is the one, Boots and All, in front of Tommy Tucker, who's been well supported, even though it's only come in one turn, 8 into $7.50. Anything could happen. Notable drifter here, 6 out to $7.50. Pamir's been well supported, 11 into 10, currently a losing result. Bloodstream with the blinkers on, 8 out to 10, but again a losing result. And Timmy Tyler, 17 into 15, always well specced in a lot of the races he contests in, 17 into 15. But the best lead I can give is Boots and All, but I think it's found its bottom mark at 3.5, Mick, and punters just this morning backing a few around him.
Oropuki Lad is one who could well drift, that being the case. Opened at 3.8, could get out of touch. We know it's going to go forward. Forged is coming out of easier races, racing in a rating 72 a couple of starts ago. So Greg, as we come back to you, Oropuki Lad's an interesting one because it's failed twice here at Riccarton before, but that was a different version of the horse. Clearly, as it's got older, it's got stronger. If you'd never seen it before and you saw the last start win at Ascot Park, you'd go, wow, this thing could be a freak. Wouldn't be surprised, Greg, to see it get on the speed today, and that slight intimidation factor maybe give it a chance to try something similar.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen the Eads come here before with Comanche Gold over the years. And the concern for me today is dropping back from the Invercargill 2,600 metres to the 18 at Riccarton and saying that he's a much stronger horse these days. And if he gives you a sight like this, he seemed to be off the nickel a long way out, but what he did was have the others off the nickel a long way out, and he just kept on kicking. He's big, he's raw, he's by raise the flag, and, you know, like if he keeps producing performances like this, you wouldn't be surprised to see him make his way across the Tasman and take on some of their potentially country cup races, I suppose. But he's gone back-to-back, Michael, and he's done it very well. Leah Hemi was successful at Wingatui 2 starts back on Champions Day, so she knows him. I'm sure he'll give you a good side. This mare's come a long way in a very short time. Stephen Woodsford doing a great job with her. Anything could happen. She has Chris Johnson aboard. Here's the Smokehouse Bay form again. And look, if she goes like this was first up since Kuria, and then she's had another freshen up for this. I think the progress that she's made in her last 4 or 5 starts suggests that the ultimate goal for her is to race at group level and win at group level. And look, she just kept on finding the line here. She's a touch who was brilliant, but anything could happen. With natural improvement and with that 54 kilos today, I believe that she's a definite threat. I've gone with Boots and All on top. He's the class horse. They're claiming the 2 with Corey Campbell. He can absolutely win this race, and ultimately he's the one to beat, but he's getting into a pretty short sort of a quote now, as Stephen quite rightly said.
Team Rogerson is heading south and have some big winning chances, including the favourite in 2 of the features down there today. And one of those is Gift of Power and the Open Sprint, sponsored by the Thompson family, and $1.85. I think she might even close shorter than that, Stephen. I was saying yesterday she might close, maybe I'm wrong, but I was thinking she might get to $1.70 or $1.65. Is the money starting to come for her? Because I thought it would.
There is, Michael, but what will hold up that $1.85 price for the majority of the day is the warm support on number 3, Disturbance. Coming off a betting plunge at Wingatui last start, I think from memory opened at $8 and got as short as $3.50 on closed Disturbance. So they're reinvesting here, and they're very keen it can go 3 on the bounce this preparation, the Southerner Disturbance, to beat the Northerner and Gift of Power. So $1.90, $1.85 Gift of Power, Disturbance 5 into $4.80. Outside that, I cannot write a ticket for any other runner, including the 3rd favourite and Johnny Jones. So a lot of support, a lot of the money accounts for the top 2 in betting and Gift of Power, Disturbance. So like I mentioned, if there is a late push on Gift of Power, it could come in the last 5 minutes when Betfair comes into play. But at the moment, down to dollars invested, they match Disturbance and Gift of Power. So that's helping us remain that quote of the $1.85 around the favourite.
Yeah, I think the money will come for her. I think Betfair will light up for Gift of Power. They love a leader. I can see it jumping to the lead here, and CJ just pulling up and going just quick enough to keep a Disturbance maybe out of play. Johnny Jones likes to go forward but carries 60 and gets the 2 kilos off, but its best form hasn't been as good as the best form of Gift of Power. Greg, I know it's never simple, and I know we in the North can be arrogant about overrating our sprinters versus the Southerners when you consider you guys have won the last 3 telegraphs, but there's a little bit of X factor about her.
There is. Michael Guerin and arrogance, 2 words. No, I'm not even going to go down that path, Michael. Gift of Power will be in front, no question about that at all. Disturbance, a quality horse, really has come back a lot stronger from his Australian campaign. Look, if he can run up to his latest win, which was very good, we'll have a look at Gift of Power and then we'll have a look at Disturbance. Then I think he'll give her something to think about. On speed as well will be Johnny Jones, as we look at Gift of Power here. Go back 2 starts, 6th in behind Enzo's Lad in the Telegraph, and then beating Passing Shot, who's no slouch, no doubt. She was really strong here. She's got a good horse's weight though, 59 kilos, and I think Disturbance with the 1.5 kilos, although it's not a lot, it may well have a part to play here, but she tries really hard and just gets the measure of Passing Shot here, and comes to Riccarton Park and for the first time, maybe the look up the Riccarton Straight might be a little bit more daunting than it will be for Disturbance, who was winning here fresh up, of course, and then went here to Wingatui in this very good race, beating Johnny Jones, who was in front and outside the leader. They were going to war, but Disturbance was just too strong in the end, and they've done a great job. Shane Kennedy and Anna Furlong. Dylan Turner, he gets the ride on him today. He's going to be 2 or 3 lengths off Johnny Jones and Gift of Power, but if there's any sort of battle between those two, it could very much play into his hands. So I give Disturbance a good chance of potentially upsetting. The other one I wanted to mention, Michael, was the winner during the Cup meeting on Cup Day, Vendima. Gets to 54 with Leah Hemi today for Neil Ridley, and I think she's a pretty good horse, Vendima. She might not beat these today, but there's definitely ability for this mare by Sebring to win again at short notice. Might not be today, but she's certainly one to follow out of this race.
Valachi Downs have been outstanding sponsors of racing right around the country. In fact, they sponsor this show as well, so we thank them for giving us the chance to give punters the information on a Saturday morning, hopefully finding you a winner. They also sponsor the South Island Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes, where Contessa Vanessa mirrors the odds, more or less, of her stablemate Gift of Power. Hasn't won for a while, but beautifully placed in the set weights and penalties here. She's up against horses who've only won 2 races on some of these occasions. At 55 kgs, she's carrying 1 kilo more. So, Hunty, I would have thought the money would come for her, but do you find that punters are often reluctant to back horses who haven't won recently because they don't have that residual balance and saying, okay, it's been a winner for me, and B, obviously there's no ones in the form line, so you don't have that recent memory of going, oh yeah, I know this could win. Have you found that's been a reason for the reluctance around her?
Oh, geez, Mick, a hard one. I think it's case by case because Contessa Vanessa was very well supported last start at HQ on Cup Day when the rain came, and they missed out there. There's actually 2 or 3 in this race that punters have been costly around, the likes of Residential. Even though it won last start, punters finally got the bickies with her, so they're reinvesting with Residential during the week. Got as high as $6.50 Residential, now trading that second line at $5. Back to the favourite Contessa Vanessa. She holds 50% of total turnover, so you're weighing up that and the current price. It looks roundabout solid. I think her price will be dictated by the stablemate. If Gift of Power can win in the previous leading into this race, then there'll be a lot of multis, all ups, and reinvesting into Chris Johnson and the Rogerson runner and Contessa Vanessa to get that price maybe down to $1.80, $1.85, potentially even shorter, who knows. But look, they are liking 2 runners to beat it. One I mentioned, Residential, and the other one this morning has been Flying Sardine, who's been well supported. Has to turn the tables on Residential last start at Wingatui, but I think back to Riccarton, that's where the punters are targeting Flying Sardine. It's had 3 wins there at Riccarton, likes the big roomy track. $7.50 on opening, got as high as $8, now back into $7. Outside that, Shirley Maud, 18 to 16 if you want to spice up exotic bet types. But in order, best bet runner Contessa Vanessa. This morning, Flying Sardine with a bit of specking around Residential during the week.
Expecting the favourites to be on the speed here with horses like Residential able to go forward. Contessa Vanessa obviously, and Splendior, another one who could be on the speed. Greg, look, I thought Contessa Vanessa is clearly the best horse in the race, but is Residential maybe starting to live up to the potential we saw from her as a 3-year-old, and maybe she's got a touch stronger in the last couple of months, Greg?
Yeah, she's got herself up over a couple of 100,000. She is very much quality Residential. I'm not surprised about the move on Flying Sardine. She finished 3rd in this race last year, loves Riccarton. I'll give her a good chance here for the reasons that you guys have been talking about. Contessa Vanessa, while she's quality, she hasn't won in a long time. Let's have a look at her. Finishing 3rd at her most recent performance. So it's actually 2 starts back because her last run was at Ellerslie on a heavy track. So I thought we'll go back and have a look at Hastings. Again, we've got the passing shot form. This day here, the rail was on fire, so many leaders won. So it took a pretty good job from, pretty good effort rather, from Contessa Vanessa to make up some ground. Passing shot just kept on rolling and got the business done. And she just kept on finding, did Contessa Vanessa, 56 kilos. She's almost throwing in here, so she'll get her chance. And if she races up to her best, there's no doubt she can win the race, but by no stretch is she over the lines. Then Tess is a good mare. She's had the 2 starts, Michael, this time in, been set for this race. It's the Kennedy furlong factor. I would consider her to be a very good, a big threat to Contessa Vanessa and Flying Sardine, and Residential's the obvious one that you've got to have in your top 4.
Okay, Gregor, if I gave you $100 to play with, which, by the way, I'm not going to do, what would you do with it?
I reckon you can play 3 horses for a place today. I can't see Boots and All missing a place. He's come up about $1.50 or thereabouts. So into Flying Sardine, into what I believe is the best bet of the day, King Kane in the last, trained by the Pitman. Spoke to Michael at Addington last night actually and said, I think it's the best bet of the day, and he said, I have to concur. He's really turned the corner, the son of showcasing, so he's a great bet. And Celtic Wonders had no luck lately. Comes to Riccarton today in the 4th, and I reckon with Daniel Bothamley aboard, the John Blackadder trained mare will give you one heck of a sight. So place bet, Michael, Boots and All, Flying Sardine, King Kane, to get a whole lot of money in the bank so we can get involved in what should be a magnificent day at Rosehill today.
Thank you, mate. Looking forward to your coverage coming up not too far away from Riccarton with the first on the card inside the hour. Back to you, Stephen. For those away from those feature races we just spoke about, have there been any others in the remaining 4 races backed at Riccarton today for any real money?
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the show, best back runner will be King Kane, and I think it will start fade from what I'm seeing, that continued flow of money for King Kane, for Jonathan Parks doing the riding. 480 is now as short as $4.50, and there's 10 cents separating Nuclear Fusion and King Kane. I think back to the 1400, that's what the punters are liking around King Kane. Earlier in the day, there's a couple of rating 65 races, Michael. The 1400, Carson River's been well supported. Looks to start a warm favourite there. I think it's trading around about $4.80 off a peak of 6.5. And the other rating 65 that follows the 1400 metre event, the 1800 metres, Just Push Play has been well supported, got as high as $5.50, now trading that same quote as Carson River at 4.8.